And welcome to week number 5 of the BRL NASCAR series here at Circuit of the Americas. I'm SSR Mayhem, and tonight I'll be bringing you tonight's live action here as the season has begun within a few weeks already. This is week number 5. Glad to be here to help the guys and see what we got here tonight. Right now, the drivers are currently practicing right now, so just waiting for them to finish up practice. They'll be doing qualifying sessions here soon, so we'll actually get live qualifying here in a few moments, so just be ready for that. But it should be a really fun night of racing, and hopefully the action will be just as good. And like I said, this is our first week here. Normally we're on the MEA staff, but tonight we're here with the BRL guys and seeing how things work out. And from my knowledge, it's a group of guys who put together an organization here at BRL Esports, and growing slowly but steadily, and it's always nice to see here in the community. Hopefully later tonight we might have a guest here in the commentary booth. It looks like SSR Hillbilly might be joining us for the action here momentarily. Hopefully we can get him in here. If not, I'll be keeping you up to date with the live action here tonight. So in a few moments we'll be going to qualifying, and looking very forward to this one here tonight. And like I was just saying here, taking a few minutes to let the guys get ready. Fairly new to the whole group right now. This is my first week inbound to this organization, so like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing how things play out here. Everyone has a different series. They run different styles of series, so really looking forward to seeing what these guys put together and how they operate. In MEA, how it operates is, we have a pace lap, and typically one marshal inside the party will say green. These guys have a starting zone. Not sure where that starting zone is, but hopefully I'll figure it out here to let everyone know where that's at. And like I said, we'll be getting qualifying going here really soon, so really looking forward to this one here tonight. And so far here, I'll bring up the list of drivers so far. We have Redneck Soldier, I believe I'm saying that right, Bartle Skeet, TK, I said Redneck, Geno Maximum, Truex Fan, Your Boys Havens, and Demon. So far in here, I believe there's a few guys that are in the lobby that aren't currently in the racing mode just right now, but it should be a good field of drivers. And once again, if you're just tuning in, this is week 5 of the BRL Esports NASCAR series. And I'm going to take a brief moment here, and I'll be right back with everybody momentarily. so far. It looks about 9 drivers are making the field here tonight. But we'll go back through a couple of weeks here. They got some information about past weeks here. It looks like they're doing a qualifying grid. Might be a meetup, I'm not positive here. But week number 1, EGC Outerfer won that race. Week 2 at Monza Short was Adam RPG. Week 3 was Lucky Baseball. Week 4 it's Browning 44. So 4 different winners during the season so far. Oh, and there we go. We actually do have 3 laps of qualifying, so a few laps to get the guys set some clean times. So we'll get to check this one out here soon. So it looks like these drivers, the 9 drivers that are currently here, are going to be making the qualifying session. Looks like if there's any other individuals joining in, they're going to have to start at the tail end of the field. So not what some of these drivers probably want to see, but you know, show must go on. So here we go for 3 laps of qualifying. There is an out lap, so 2 laps in general. Right now we're riding along with the Demon here. And it is a ghosted qualifying, so these guys can affect each other's times. Alright, so we're going to ride along with Ring for the first lap, the number 3 machine here. And so here we go. Lap number 1's about to begin for qualifying. And these guys are about to take the stage as we get going here for the first lap of qualifying. And we'll bring up the race statistics bars here. And hopefully Forza will do Forza things and actually work. We know that sometimes the loops don't really give us a full detailed screening on that. So right now, we got 9 cars on the track. Anybody that shows up late will start at the tail end of the field. And it looks like we have our co-commentator here with us tonight as SSR Hillbilly going to take in to the broadcasting booth. And Hillbilly, if you don't mind, to check the check mark off on your box and introduce yourself to the people.
Oh, sorry I'm late. I got stuck in the autograph line signing babies' foreheads and whatnot.
Well, nothing wrong with that, and hopefully the kids enjoyed it as much as you did, and welcoming you tonight as we got a BRL Esports Week 5 NASCAR Cup Series here at COTA. It's a new organization founded by, I believe, about 5 to 6 guys, and already 4 weeks in, they've had 4 different winners. This is the 5th week, and actually, Hillbilly, this is a home track for you at COTA.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's about 4 hours down the road for me.
And it looks like they're doing the West Circuit here tonight, so a shorter version, but still a good one. And the
I think this is the
lap,
layout that the V8 supercars use when they come here the first year COTA was open.
and COTA COTA hosts a lot of different types of series, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah. We've had block plane, the WEC, Formula One of course. IMSA has been once, I believe.
I think NASCAR needs to get on the list because these guys are here tonight.
Well, the V8 supercars are fun to watch. I'm sure the NASCARs would be just as fun.
Well, in real life, we don't get to see them here, but we will here at Forza. And so far, we are currently on lap 2, I believe. Yep, lap 2 of qualifying right now. And so far, Ring has the best time. I wonder if Forza can show me that time. Of a 1:35.221. These guys are about to wrap up qualifying here. And Hillbilly, your first time being a broadcaster tonight, what are you looking forward to most?
I just want to see some close racing. I think that that's what any race fan wants to see is some door-to-door, close racing, clean racing, respectful racing, but at the same time hard. Good passes.
I totally agree with you on that. Nothing better than a good battle. And from what I've heard, they've had nothing but great battles so far this season. Now they've had full fields. It looks like it's the first time they're going to have a little bit of a down week, but there's nothing wrong with that. We've seen down weeks in MEA. Tora's had them. DOR's had them. I mean, everyone has these down weeks, but we've seen back in week 6, I believe, of the MEA NASCAR series itself in Indianapolis, the B Lobby only had 6 cars. It was actually a race that I was in. And it was a very good race, very close race, but bigger small number count, and as I can see, I think there's a couple more drivers that might have just shown up, maybe one. I'm positive, or maybe that's just you, but regardless of the field size, there should be some good racing here tonight.
Yeah, judging by the spread out of how they were qualified, it looks like there's going to be some good battles throughout the field.
All right, so qualifying is over, so let's see if I can get the lap times. So it looks like only everybody but 3 drivers got clean times. Looks like Ring with the fastest time of 1:35.221. So it looks like he'll be starting on the pole here tonight. It looks like the second fastest time was Gino Maximus with a 1:36.914. And rounding out the top 3, it is TKF1R3 with a 1:38.556. And the rest of the field pretty relatively close. A couple guys not getting clean times there, but a few laps. You never really know by that, as the race, goes in. And I know you as a driver, Hillbilly, sometimes it takes time to develop a rhythm in races.
Oh yeah, especially with these NASCARs on a track like this, the elevation changes, S-turns. I mean, it's a whole different animal.
And you talk about the S-turns, and I just think that's one of the. I would think that would be the most difficult part for these NASCARs, is just because of the type of body structure the car is, not very maneuverable in and out quickly. So you got to kind of take it a little easy, not to cut it too much, but not to overdrive somebody that might be in front of you if you have a fast run.
Right. It'd be easy to run into the back of somebody or easily run off the track. And another hard part for this car is going to be that left turn section after the S is where it cuts off the east side of the track. And there's that really hard dip going into that little chicane before you're back on the back stretch. Be easy to lose control there and spin out if you're braking too hard, if you're braking too hard.
All right, so it looks like we have somebody that lagged out, and actually it would be the pole sitter of Ring, so we're going to have to wait on him to get back into this race lobby. And anybody else that might make the show a little late. And If you're just tuning in with us, or it's the first time here at the MEA staff, we typically normally are with the MEA organization, but tonight we're here with the BRL Esports guys as they're featuring their first ever NASCAR series. And like I said, this is week number 5, so they have had about 4 weeks already in the books, 4 different race winners, and I'll pull out the points here a little bit later on. It looks like they might be making a new race lobby, and that would be the case, so we're going to follow them. And I'll send you an invite, Hillbilly. But nonetheless, it's always nice to see new organizations come out, and it gives more variety. Especially, Hillbilly. I've talked to this about numerous people over the past year since I've started. My own little organization there at MEA, and the people that have helped me build it to what it is today. But one of the biggest things is competition, and what I mean by that is, there's so many different levels of competition. So when these newer leagues come out, we talk about like Turtle Fast is a great example, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me using him as an example. A guy that's learning to get faster. He might not be in the A lobby, but he worked his way from the D lobby back in the GT series. Now we ended up with 2 lobbies near the end of the season, but the first 4 to 5 weeks he was developing as a driver. And so when you get these new series and not well known, it's nice for certain drivers that might not be at the next level yet, but are near guys that are close to them, and it makes for better racing and better opportunity for a driver to grow, I would think, at least.
Well, right. I mean, if you're looking to get into leagues and you've never really done it before, and you're not sure of your skill level, everyone's got to start somewhere. I mean, there's a lot of reputable leagues out there, this being one of them, MEA, BOR, they're all good. All you got to do is join one, and you'll find out where your skill level is. And all you got, the more you run with those people, the faster ones, the faster you become. And like you said, Turtle Fast, he come in kind of, I'm not going to say slow. He lacked pace, but if there was a candidate for most improved throughout the MEA GP season, I think he'd be one of the candidates because he stepped up real big.
Oh, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, you're talking about a driver that was, near the back of the field, was determined to get out of the lower lobbies, got into some of the bigger lobbies, showed that he could be there, and he actually I believe he had a 1 top 5 back at Dubai that season. So, that just shows you, you get involved in these things, there's an opportunity for you to grow as a driver, and especially, people do this for a living. I mean, if you can get to that level, like G2 Lage, Box, those guys, you can make a living off of, an esports career, and depending who follows you or who grabs you along the way, you can make a pretty good chunk of change just playing a video game. And, you all start somewhere, and like you said, I mean, you do the Forza RC, and you've told me one time, it really humbles yourself because of just the difficulty of competition.
Yeah, because, I mean, a lot of those faster guys, you don't see them in the public hoppers too often. And you go in there and you're going to run up front all day long, and you think you're fast, and you join that RC, and you run with, the likes of Lightning and Lage and all them. You find out real quick you got a lot to learn. And, these leagues like this help you prepare for stuff like that. If you start, if you run with the people that are at the same pace as you won't learn. You got to be willing to race with the people that are faster than you and watch their lines, watch how they do it, ask them questions, and learn from them. Some, they're reluctant to teach people, but there's plenty of fast guys out there that'll give you pointers, tips, tricks, stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there willing to help.
And I totally agree with you there. And, like I said, these leagues definitely make someone better. I mean, you don't get it in public hoppers. I mean, they're great, and they're not always the best, but when you start getting involved in leagues and stuff, it really shows what you're truly made of, and, you grow. And go ahead and spectate there, Hillbilly, so you can get into the view of this. Looks like you're going to have to wait real quick. But there's a pace lap, so we will wait on that. But I'm going to pull up some statistics here from the race season. I brought them up earlier. We've had 4 different winners. I believe some of them actually aren't here tonight. So, it's always a shame, but, it makes for interesting races at the end of the year. This is I believe it's a 12-week season, which it is. Week number 1 was EGC Outerfer. He's not here tonight. He's actually on vacation with his wife, spending a little bit of a Mother's Day and whatnot. So he was with me here tonight. Monza Short was week 2. Adam RPG won that race. Week 3 was Sonoma Full. Lucky Baseball won then. Last week, it's Browning 44 won at Homestead. So 4 different winners this season, and looking forward to seeing a 5th possible winner here tonight. And the way, with the people that showed up, there's a good opportunity that probably will happen. So I'm looking forward to this. It's a new organization, a new league, and anything can happen. And hopefully we'll see some good racing tonight.
I'm pretty sure we'll see some good. Anytime you get a new league up and coming, there's always going to be some good racing in it.
So it looks like we're just waiting for a go here. Probably they might be waiting for somebody else. So the more the merrier. Let's see here. And it looks like I didn't get in that time. Alright, so give me a minute to load on in with you guys. Well, whatever they did, it messed me up. Are you in the race yet?
They're back to changing the grid up right now.
Oh, okay. Alright, that's why I can't ready up or spectate up yet. Alright, so they're just getting the grid set up. It's fine. Alright, so a lot of these guys are new to me. I have seen a couple of these guys in the public popper, so for me it's always nice to see new guys take his jab, especially in league races. So I don't know who to pick here for tonight's winner. I mean, we saw qualifying results. Ring definitely had a fast time, but I want to count a few of these guys out from what we've seen in qualifying.
Oh yeah, anything can happen.
I mean, we're talking about a very
too
technical
early,
track.
brakes too late. Oh yeah. I'm kind of rooting for the Bartle Skeet guy. I don't know where his name comes from, so.
So you got a little knowing history there, a little background on one person already. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't know the person personally. I just know where he got his name from. And I'm
No,
a big fan of where he got
yeah.
his name from. So.
All right, so. Well, we both said, all right, so it looks like they're loading in now, so we'll be able to spectate in here just in a second here, guys. And as we get ready for the start of the race, I'll read off the starting grid. As soon as they're still moving the grid around, so because of that lag out during qualifying, I think they might have a couple of mix-ups. Hopefully they got the sheet or some type of snapshot, so they have that. I would assume they do. That's probably why they keep mixing it around, make sure they got it correct. So take us through this track, Hillbilly. You know, I mean, being that it's a home track for you, what is the key points to this racetrack? What's going to make these guys successful and get them to win here today?
Oh, for sure, turn 1. Going uphill. Gravity fights against you a little bit, so you can go a little bit later into the braking zone. I've never driven these cars on this track, so I know you can do it with the GT cars. With these, I'm not sure, but if you don't get turn 1 right, it'll mess up your whole lap. And then the long sweeper around the tower, that's another key section because you can lose a lot of speed there if you don't get the right line through there.
And I would agree, turn 1 is definitely a critical. I mean, it's a very it's like a paper clip or a hairpin, but it's not. It's a weird hairpin, I would like to say. At least that's how it looks to me. Because the way you have to angle that turn, I mean, you got to kind of go out and come in with it. You can't just, like a track like Suzuka, where the hairpin is back about mid part of the track. You just kind of whip around it. Where this is kind of like a funny angle, I would think. All right, so did you get in all right, Hillbilly?
Yeah, I'm joining in right now.
Alrighty, so here we go. So 39 laps of racing action here at COTA. Alright, so starting on the front row, it looks like Ring's going to take the outside line. It looks like leader gets choice, so nothing wrong with that. So starting on the front row, starting in the first position, number 3, the Ring race. I'm sorry if I butcher some of these names. Starting in the second position, and I'm going to do this way because it's a lot easier because these camera views change all the time. Number 46, Gino Maximus, 205. Starting in the third position would be TK F1R3 in the number 4 car. Starting in the fourth position, Bartle Skeet in the 69 machine. Right behind him, Young Boys Havens in the number 80 machine. Alongside him is Redneck in the number 8 position. Right behind Redneck will be Demon in the 62 machine. Following him is RLS Jr. in the number 2 Miller Lite Ford. And rounding out the top 9 is number 78. And as his name says, Truex fan. We'll cut some of these names down so they're not so chippy. You know, don't want to butcher too many names, but how do you feel about Ring taking the outside row there to start the race? You know, he's going to be on the outside going into turn 1. And you think that's a really smart move?
If he can get a good jump, it'll allow him to get into turn 1 on the line you should, and let him have a better exit. Whereas if he can pinch off Gino and make an early exit, it'll slow him down going into the next section of the track. But it all depends on the start if he can get the jump.
And I'd have to agree with you. I just feel like it's a very tricky spot to be in. But I mean, I guess if you get the run on the outside just right, you're gonna have a nice smooth flow through that turn. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the start goes. And these two guys are really close in qualifying. So we're going to see how lap number 1 plays out. You know what, Hillbilly? Lap 1 is always a tricky lap because it's one of the most important laps. Stay out of trouble and don't get involved in the big accident. And green flag flies. 39 laps of race action, 38 laps of racing action here at COTA, and it is underway. And here we go. So the guys were shuffling really, really quick there at the start of the race. Ring to the outside.
Yeah, see, he got the jump. He's got the inside line for the next sector. He worked it out perfect.
And look at TK. Goes to the inside of him now. As they go side by side through the S's, Gino tries to hold on to that line, and he does. TK has to back off here. And like we said, you know, through the S's, it's a really, really tricky place. You don't want to get caught up there because not only do you get possibly mixed up in the wrong place, but if you hit one of those tire barriers, it can lead to a lot of problems early on. And it looks like we have a mix-up in the back of the pack. Young Boys Havens. Looks like he had an accident.
I think Ring might have overshot that turn. Because he went way off into the runoff area and he's dropped down to 3rd.
Bartle Skeet right now battling Redneck for the 4th position. And I know there's cautions in this race. I'm not sure how the cautions work, but I mean, we'll know if there's a caution when they slow down.
That might have been what Ring thought was happening when he went off into the runoff area.
Bartle Skeet to the inside of Redneck. Redneck holds the outside line side by side coming out of the final corner there. They're going to go across the line together. No. Bartle will go right behind Redneck there and lead the first lap of the race, BTK.
Oh, TK went wide.
And then you're up in the front of the pack. Redneck Soldier just took the 4th position away from Bartle. Bartle really went into turn 1 hot. Now he's got RLS Jr. right behind him. We're going to go up to the front of the pack, though. You said there's a little bit going on here. And Maximum...
Oh, yeah, Gino's right on.
Look at them trying to go side by side.
Side by side. Oh, well,
they almost lost it through there. Look at that. 3 wide almost. Ring to the inside. Battle up front's pretty good, but look who's coming into the picture here, Hillbilly. One of your friends, Redneck. I can't say his last, the end to his name. I'm not sure what that said.
I want to say it's Soldier.
That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't. We're gonna go with that.
Well,
Redneck
I'm
solution.
watching Ring right now. He smells blood in the water. He's all over TK right now.
These three are really been battling hard here early in the race. You know, we talked about racing hard early on, and you know, as a driver, Hillbilly. For you, when the race starts, how are you usually? You kind of sit back, relax a little bit, let the race kind of spread out, or are you like this? Are you trying to get in it, to win it early on, trying to get as many passes as you can before you have to possibly make a pit stop? What is your mindset as a driver early on in the race?
Well, it depends on where I start. If I start mid-pack and there's like 20 people in the race, I'll kind of ride out the first couple laps, let everything spread out, and then I'll start pushing just to keep myself out of trouble. You know, if I start up in like the top 5, like these 3 here, I'll push and race.
Right now, these guys are really pushing hard, and you see Redneck starting to creep into the picture. He's going to get into this mix.
These 3 are racing out of line, and yeah. They're just allowing him to catch up is all they're doing right now. It's about to be a 4-car battle.
You know, we saw that type of situation back at week number 10 of the GT series in MEA, where Bobberts and Adler were battling constantly, and Merck had an awful start, but because of how much they battled, he got up to the front. And you're seeing that exact pattern here as Redneck's catching up to these guys. You know, sometimes I think, Hillbilly, you know that it's a long race, you're early in the race, and you know, maybe this is a question for you as a driver as well.
Gino on the inside.
Man, they're just trading positions left and right.
Yeah.
But how much battling is too much battling, especially when you know there's guys behind you charging, you know, catching up to you when you're battling. Do you ever get to a point? Oh man!
Contact, but I think they saved it. They're being respectful, letting each other go on with it.
Very close. I thought the 46
but I mean,
been out.
To answer your question, what these 4 are doing, they're rolling the dice. They each want to lead the race. They want to show they're the fastest, but if they were smart, they still got 30-plus laps to go. Just ride it out. Especially Ring. He had the fastest qualifying time. All he has to do is stay with first and second. And once they pit, he can go on with it.
Ooh, it's a little wide there.
Make up the ground while they're in the pits.
You know, you make a great point.
Tell he's kind of driving frustrated, is what it seems like now. And I think we might have a caution because they're slowing down.
And we do. It looks like the back of the field, possibly. I saw an issue. I saw Truex go back to 9th. It looks like young boy Havens must have had an issue because he dropped back a couple positions from that. So it looks like they're going to bring the field back together here. And, you know, this always makes it really interesting. I know you took part in the MEA NASCAR series. You made a few of the races. You know, as the race progresses, and you get those cautions. So, Billy, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when a caution comes out, depending where you're at in the race?
It depends. If you know the people you're racing with, you kind of start to think about who's behind you, and if you get a good start or a bad start on what they could do. Because you can easily lose a couple spots on the first turn if you have a bad start. And also, it depends on if you're starting on the inside or the outside, on how much you want to push, stuff like that.
I mean, as a leader, it's one of the most frustrating things, I'm sure, because you get that nice lead, especially if you're way up front. And it looks like they're trying to really let the guys in the back catch up here. So I think we'll be going green next time around. And if you're just tuning in with us, this is week number 5 of the BRL Esports NASCAR Cup Series. Here at COTA, the West Circuit. We are under caution for the first time of the race. Didn't really get to see what happened. We just assumed that the number 80 car of your boys Haven had an incident. Looks like we do have a driver that has left the race or possibly disconnection, which I think is what actually happened with Demon. So Demon is out of the race for the remainder of this event, which we always hate to see. You always hate to see drivers not be able to finish out the whole way through. We still got 8 guys on the track. And we know the top 4 have been really mixing it up early on here, Hillbilly. But what about these guys in the back? We got Bartle Skeet and all these other guys showing up now, and they're now in the mix. You gotta wonder, was their start really rough? Is that the reason why they were so far behind? And do they have the speed to keep up with these 4 guys in the front?
I think the guys in the back might have got tangled up a little bit on the first lap. We just slowed them down because the first 4 were just in line. And I think this is the time where people like Bartlesky and RLS Jr., they need to put their nose down and run some clean laps, because these first 4, they are beating and banging. They're running offline, trying to make passes, and they can take advantage of that and be right there in the thick of it.
Well, we're going to see what happens here as we're all back together now, all bunched up. I think Bartlesky had a pretty fast car as the first few laps were going through. I'm kind of curious to see if he can get a good jump here to keep up with these guys up front, because he looked like he had a good car. So we're going to see what happens, though. But anything could happen. I know RLS Jr., he's a guy that has some speed in him. So anything could happen here. And we're about to find out, though. I mean, these restarts are very important. It's just like the first lap of the race, I believe.
Yeah, I think Ring, he might still be frustrated from going off in the first lap and dropping back to third. Because ever since then, he's been overdriving every corner trying to get back into the lead. If he just calms down and takes his laps like he should be able to get back up front.
So here we go. We're back underway. Green flag flies. Ring to the inside.
There he goes. Ring to the inside. Everybody overshoots.
Bartlesky moves up to third. They're going 3 wide. This is not a place to go 3 wide, Hillbilly. This is where you want to try to get in line. Hang tight. Don't make too many mistakes. But it looks like they did just fine and got right in line from that huge mess.
I think Bartlesky played it too conservative. I think he might have been able to push the issue on Redneck there a little bit, maybe have the number 4 spot. But I think he might, it could have been a safe move in the long run.
TK looked to the inside of Gino there, nothing there. Gino's, look at this. Gino trying to maintain the inside line. TK trying to get up next to him. Ring to the inside. And I was just about to say, Gino's been...
This is a tricky section here.
He's been one of the top 2 cars this whole race. I don't think he's been further back than second. I think he's just been trading off first.
Yeah. Here comes Redneck on the outside of Ring. Can he make it stick and have the inside line down in the turn? Yeah, he's going to have the inside. Look at Redneck. That's a nice pass right there on the outside. Had the match grade tires.
We're on the rear view camera right now with TK. As you can see, Redneck and Ring right behind them, and Ring's been kind of all over the place so far in this race, hopefully. He hasn't had a consistent laps yet. He's been fighting really hard early on.
Yeah, he's overdriving the track. He needs to settle it down because he's got the pace to take the lead.
And TK goes to the lead. And I definitely agree with you. I think he just needs to settle down a little bit, get in line, let it go. Ooh, Redneck getting a little loose there. Look at that, right? That's what you need to do.
Yeah, if you settle down and run your race and stay on your line, stuff like that will happen. Let the other person make a mistake, not you.
And Ring now going for the second position now, but will he get... Ooh, TK gets a little loose coming off the corner. He'll maintain it. Can he hold it, though? Ooh, 3 wide. Oh, Ring says, I got to back out
right here. Just like that, Redneck's back in the thick of it also.
And these 4 guys have been battling since the start of the race. Redneck kind of showed up about lap 4 or 5, but these 4 haven't really left one another since the restart. And RLS Jr. is currently in the 5th spot right now, so Bartle's dropped back to 6th, Billy. Looks like Bartle's having some early mistakes. We kind of had high hopes for him off the restart. It just hasn't worked for him just yet.
Let's see what TK can do right here in turn 1. There he goes. He's going inside.
Ring's going with him.
Ring's going with him. So that's all Ring needs to do, just run his race.
I think if Ring can get into the lead and he gets some consistent laps, then I think he can break away from this field. There he goes to the inside. Oh, he locks up the brakes.
Oh, he went too hard.
Oh! he just got manhandled by all three of them there. I mean, that's gotta be frustrating.
He made his own mistake instead of letting the other people make a mistake. He needs to calm down. He's gonna lose this race himself.
I mean, we know he's got the speed, and they're really banging it up out there. And look who's starting to show up into the picture though. Bartleskeet and RLS Jr.
He's bringing Bartleskeet with him, but these four, they keep trading positions like this and beating and banging. Those two behind them, it's going to be a 6-car showdown before long if these four keep going at it.
I mean, those two, if you watch LRS Jr. and Bartleskeet, they're just running, solid and steady right now. They're not battling with each other.
Yep.
They know how many laps are in this race. These four up front are just fighting for dear life, and they're just letting them in.
Yep. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what our RSL and Bartleskeet are thinking right now, I believe.
And you always got to think about how you can get yourself to the front. And if it's working with another driver, using each other's straps to get to the front, you do what you have to do to get to the front sometimes and worry about them later in the race because track position is important. And if you see these four guys up front battling it out, you know you have an opportunity to gain on them. Why battle? You both know that these guys are just killing each other right now. I mean, these guys are really racing hard.
Oh, yeah. Ring's really got the speed and the line through the S's. He needs to use that to his advantage and set up for passes going into this turn right here.
Oh, he locked up the brakes again. Thought for a second we had a guy flag out, but we're still good.
Look who's showing up. RSL's right there. He can smell it.
Bartleskeet's starting to lose the ground a little bit on these guys, but like you said, RLS Jr., he's showing up in the picture right now. We're going to go up to that battle for the lead right now, though, and we're going to see what Gino's doing as he's trying to get back to the front, and TK has been holding on so far. I think the big thing right now is these two aren't even battling, and right now behind them, Redneck and Ring are just duking it out, and that's what's starting to separate these guys.
Yeah. If first and second can just ride, stay in line and go, run the race, stay on their line, they'll pull away from third and fourth. And I think we might have a caution.
Not sure what it's for. We lost the driver. And RLS Jr. has lagged out of the race.
Oh, that's such a bummer because he was gaining.
Oh, I just got word that they do stages. So the first 11 laps is a stage. Yeah. So this is stage 1. So stage 1 winner was TK.
Well, how about that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a whole new dynamic into this race. I didn't know they were doing that.
We had the mentality of the MEA series in our head probably, and that kind of threw us off. So that is very neat. Love that for sure. That brings the reality of the sport of NASCAR into this. So that's gonna, like you said, that changes everything. I mean,
Oh yeah.
The next stage will end at lap number 20, and then I believe the third stage would be the final stage. It'll probably end at lap 39, but I'm going to try to get ordered on that. But so far, it's been a fun race so far, Hilby. I mean, with the low car count, it's been very exciting to watch. I mean, what has stuck out to you so far in this race?
I hate to keep harping on it, but Ring needs to calm it down because he's got the pace to win this race and win the next two stages. He just needs to not battle at every turn. He needs to pick his battles, pick a turn to make a pass. There's plenty of laps left. He's not going to win the race in the next 4 or 5 laps. And then
That's for sure.
TK needs to just keep doing what he's doing, defending, running his race. He's doing good.
And
Him and Gino need to keep working together like they were doing.
So pit stops, TK, Gino, Redneck, Ring, and Bartle Skeet all enter pits. Truex Fan and I can't see it. I forgot his name already. What is it? Young Boys Havens.
Your boy.
Stay out on the track.
Yeah.
Oh, your boy Havens. I'm sorry. I said
Yeah.
Young Boys. Well, this is a risky move, I'd say, by these two drivers staying on the track. I mean, it's a stage race. You may as well get some fuel and tires, but I think they're looking for track position right here. And if I pull up the telemetry here, they look good, though. Havens got 61% fuel right now. Truex Fan has...
Truex Fan is looking a little bit worse for wear, though. His tires are halfway gone on the front.
This is going to be interesting, though. These two guys weren't up front. Now they're going to be up front. The guys behind them got fresh new tires. We know they got a little bit more speed.
Right.
I wonder how it's going to play out.
Dynamic. Not to knock on these guys, but they didn't have the pace to be up front, and now they're going to be in front of the leaders that do have the pace to be up front. So it's going to... Ring needs to take advantage of this.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Use traffic to his advantage.
For sure. I mean, if he can get in front of Gino and TK early on the restart and get around these guys, it gives him a great opportunity to kind of get out front, get some momentum, get some pace in. Because I mean, you and I clearly believe that he is the car to beat on the track right now, but he's beating himself right now.
Yeah, he's creating mistakes for himself that he doesn't need to. Because if he can run like we saw in qualifying, he should run away with this race. But
for sure.
He falls behind a spot and then he starts overdriving every turn and trying to battle in every turn.
And I think it's only been in the lead once, and he made the mistake, I believe, going into one. I believe is where he lost it. So mistakes are costly. I mean, we talk about mistakes all the time, how costly they can be, especially on oval tracks and just as much as road courses. I mean, you overdrive things, or you underdrive. I mean, we saw a couple of these guys underdrive on the first restart of the race, and we saw Bartle Skeet have an opportunity to go for the third position, and he just kind of backed off. I mean, he didn't have to, but it's going to get interesting here, and it really stinks to see RLS Jr. not be able to finish this one out. He definitely I think he had a good car to see if he could crack the top 3, but here we go. Your boy Havens and Truex are leading the field. Green flag for stage number 2. And
yeah, Havens had a bad jump.
Very bad jump. Dropped all the way back to the 5th position. He's up to 4th, battling for 4th right now with Ring. Ring's trying to get the outside him, and look at that. Gino and TK just get right to the lead. And look at this, Ring goes to the outside. He's going to try to take the
Ring needed that pass. Ring would have lost a lot of time if he got stuck behind the 78 car.
And look who got the worst end of that restart.
Yeah.
Redneck. Redneck's going to need to make some moves here within the end of this lap, at least, because this is going to be interesting. I mean, these 3 guys are going to beat and bang. And we saw it earlier in the race, which is what got Redneck up to the front. But Redneck's going to need to get some pace. Looks like he's just about to get to the 4th position, and he does.
He cleared it.
Now he's going to fight all his way back. I mean, look at the gap that he lost from that restart.
Yeah, but Redneck did his job. Now he needs these 3 to battle like they've been doing all race, and he'll be right back there with him because he's got the pace to hang with him.
That view on the replay for that section was slower than it is. Look at this. Ring goes to the outside. Can he clear him?
He needs to
like he
cover
does.
up the...
And to answer that question, Dead Assassin, no. And for anybody that is watching, I do have my chat box up down the bottom right corner of my screen here. So if you have any questions for us, please throw them out there. We'd be glad to answer it. So far, this has been an exciting race. Stage 1 winner was TK, as he still leads this race. Two of the drivers stayed out on the track from the restart. That would be your boys Haven and Truex Band. They're back to the 6th and 7th position now since the restart of this race. And I gotta ask you, Hillbilly, was it a smart decision to stay out on the track?
I mean, to give them a shot, because, I mean, again, not to knock on them, but they didn't have the pace to be up front, but for them to have a shot to lead some laps and be up front, set the pace, it was good for them. I think they should maybe try it again, but right before the end of the stage, go ahead and pit a lap before so they can start the next stage on fresh tires and be out front and maybe have a little bit better shot.
And, you know, we talked about both of them. They're battling for the 6th position right now back here. And I'm riding with Truex Band as your boys Havens goes to the inside of him. And they're having a little bit of a duo right now. We'll keep an eye on them as they're having their own little battle. And, oh, but they got loose, and I totally just changed as they looked like they're about to have an accident. But it looks like they held on, so that's good for staying green. And look who it is right now in the 2nd position here, Hillbilly.
Yeah. If he can get a good run out of this turn here, he can make an inside pass on one. But I don't think he's going to get it done.
Gino seems to be falling off just a little bit, but he's still in striking distance, so I think... Ooh!
Oh!
And TK gets loose, but Gino says, oh, I'm going to dive on in there! Wow.
Yeah, Gino, his first thought was, I had no part of that, I'm taking what I can get.
This side-by-side through the S's, Gino bumping and grinding with Ring, and Ring says, no, man, I've been back here way too long. Look at this to the inside. Ring to the lead. Gino now side-by-side.
Look at Gino. He's getting all the gettings good.
And look who it is.
Caught up to TK. Redneck's back there. TK might get the pass on the inside.
I was just going to say that if Redneck now sees himself in striking distance as well. And thank you all for tuning in, Godzilla. I know you've been a fan with us since the GT series back at MEA. Glad to have you with us here tonight. This is week 5 of the BRL Esports NASCAR series here at COTA. We're halfway through the race. Stage 1 winner was TK, who's currently dropped back into the... Oh, no, he's the leader still, isn't he? I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Yeah, Gino's in first.
Gino's in first, that's right. TK's dropped back to the 3rd position now, so had a little bit of an issue there on lap 14 or 15 early on, but right now the battle for the lead is Ring and Gino, and it looks like Gino's found some speed here, Hillbilly. I mean, he wasn't showing that strong of a car earlier, but he's really showing it now.
Let's see if Gino's been going wide in one and overshooting it, but he nailed it that time. That's a perfect turn right there.
And I'm dropping back to check out Redneck here.
This is where Ring's been the fastest. Oh, Ring messed the S's all up. TK coming in for second.
Yeah, here comes Redneck
TK's
now.
in second.
Good thing I'm riding with Redneck, because he's now right on both of them. And, you know, we keep talking about Ring's mistakes. And, I mean, you got to settle down just a little bit to give yourself a chance here. He's not even giving himself a chance, and when he does have a chance, he's overdoing it.
Yeah, he's trying to win the race right now. But then again, I mean, like we just found out, they're racing in stages, so I don't know how their point structure is. He's probably trying to get as many points as he can. So, I mean, in essence, these are little 10-lap sprint races with a 20-lap finale. So it makes sense why he's driving while he's driving.
Redneck's trying to get around TK here, and I mean, TK just doesn't want to give up. Ooh, Redneck gets a little loose coming out of the bend there. Holds on to it. And TK just starting to struggle. I mean, we didn't, you know, look at this, Redneck to the inside, door to door.
Little bump.
I mean, Redneck's fighting for dear life right now. He just wants to get up there and battle. He's been missing out for a few laps now. He's, man, just let me have it.
Redneck should, hey, he's got the pass, yeah. Good pass. He's a little loose. TK might have a run into the S's.
You know, we've watched TK early in this race, and for at least the first, I'd say since, oh, Redneck gets a little loose there. TK will get right back to the third spot, but you know, TK was pretty strong in that first stage, and he's kind of fallen off here in the second stage. I wonder if he's a little rattled from the start. And Gino's just starting to take off. I mean, Ring is there, but still with me, Hillbilly? It looks like we might have lost Hillbilly for a second, so just give him a couple minutes. But the battle's still going on here for the third spot. Redneck on a mission to try to get around TK here. Top four guys still going at. These guys haven't really lost each other yet. I'm going to drop back and check out the guys behind them. Bartle Skeet sitting in the 5th position right now by himself. Not a whole lot going on for him. Further back, we Truex Fan. He's got a little distance now. And your boy Havens back there in the 8th spot, or 7th spot, I'm sorry. Two laps to go in this stage. Ring's still working to try to get to Gino here. And if you're just tuning in and watching this, stage 2 almost in the books. Who seems to be the strongest car on the track right now? Let us know down in the comment section. Well, geez, that answer was a really good one. Specifically is who we're asking for. Alright, so we got a Redneck one right there. And Hillbilly, I think, is still having some either issues, or he's probably coming right back in here momentarily. Ring's looking all over Gino, goes to the inside, gives him a little bit of a bump. Side by side down the straight. How to get back around Ring here.
All right, I'm back.
Glad to have you back, as Ring has taken the lead here with one to go in the final lap of the stage, Hillbilly. But he's trying to hold on as Gino hasn't backed off yet.
I think if Gino can make a good pass going in one on the inside and hold it, he can maybe hold this lap and get the win for the second stage.
And there he goes to the inside. Oh, and Redneck way outside. Man, turn 1 eats you up. If you overshoot that turn, you lose so much time. I mean, you just see it there from Redneck. Yeah. He was right on TK.
These cars do not like these rumble strips.
Ring is now just making little mistakes again. I mean, TK trying to get in there. I think TK, if he can get that gap close just a little more, he might take a jab at him here.
If TK can get this sweeper locked down better than Ring, he can make a dive at it in the last turn, maybe get second. If he can get a good run.
And
he's got this. Oh, he went too wide.
Here we go, coming off the final corner. Gino will take the second stage here at Coda. So stage 1 winner was TK, stage 2 was Gino, and the man who seems to be, at least have the strongest car in the race, right there in second spot. Ring is just not making it. I mean, he had the lead for about a lap and a half there, and once again, he got himself, Hillbilly.
Yeah, I think he's just overdriving the track. But I mean, like we found out, these are 10-lap sprint races, so it seems like they're all trying to go for the win every lap. Because I mean, there's not many laps to get points. Like I said, we don't know how their point structure is, but they're obviously fighting for points, and it's making for good racing.
For sure. I mean, this next stage, hopefully, is the biggest stage. It's the final stage, but it's going to have a lot more laps. I'm what, about 18 laps? 18, 17 laps, something like that. Looks like they're going to wait for the back 3 guys to catch up to them. So, makes sense. These 3 must be not taking a pit stop. Or at least they have one more pit stop.
I think they were about to get lapped, because going to that last lap of the second stage, they were coming up on last place, going around the observation tower.
Barlowski about to show up. Young boy Haven. Or your boy Haven, I'm sorry. Turn 1 and Truex fan. These guys will be catching up here real soon, so I gotta ask you, Hillbilly. I mean, we're getting to the last stage of this race. Who do you got? I mean, we've seen TK take the first stage. We've seen Gino take the second stage here. We know Ring has the car, and Redneck's right there too. We still have yet to see the strength of Barlowski. I don't know if he's gonna have enough to keep up with this front 4. He just doesn't seem like he has the car to do it. But I mean, if you have to pick from these top 5 cars right now, I mean, who would be your pick here to win this race?
I think between the top 4, it could be any 4 of them, because I would imagine the last stage pays out the most points, and to make up for what Ring has lost in the first 2 stages, he's probably going to fight for the win on this stage. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a wreck in the last 2 or 3 laps between the top 3 or 4, to where it shuffles the field up.
Right. For you guys that are watching, who do you got here in the final stage? We've seen that. I know one person's got Redneck here. Who else? Who all you guys got? Let us know down in the comment section. Let's hear you. We want to know what you think. We want to hear your voice. If you've got questions, throw them out at us. Right now, Hillbilly thinks any 4 of these guys can win it. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna go with Ring here. I just feel like Ring needs. I think at this point in the race, he knows what he's been doing wrong. I think if he could just settle down just a little bit, just a little bit, get out front once you get there. I mean, he's been there twice already in both stages. You just need to calm down a little bit as a driver. I mean, he's killing himself. I mean, that's plain and simple. That's all he's doing wrong here. But if he could just settle down, get to the front, and just run his own race, hopefully. I don't think there's one car in this field that can beat him, as long as he doesn't beat himself.
I think Bartle Skeet might have heard my advice from afar, because I think he pitted before the end of that last stage. He stayed out with the other 2.
Yep, and he
he's got
definitely
fresh
did.
tires, full of fuel.
He did for sure, and it looks like your boy Havens did the same thing as well. We know he hasn't had the very strongest car. I think between these two cars, Bartlesky will have the opportunity to get in front of these guys and give them an opportunity to win this race. I'm not counting Bartlesky out. I think he's the one car other than RSL Junior, or was it RLS Junior? I'm sorry if I messed up the first time. Other than him, who might have a legitimate shot to win this race. He's shown that he's got speed, but he hasn't been consistent yet. Barlow can be consistent. I think he could give these guys a run for their money, and I think he could probably throw some blocks to keep himself up front. But those four guys have been so strong.
If judging on that last set of laps, especially the closing laps of the second stage, if TK can be consistent, because he got right up on the back of Ring the last two turns, I wouldn't be surprised if TK takes the win here.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, because TK has had a very strong part in this race. I mean, the first stage he was just on fire. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run really good here, but I just feel like if Ring and TK here can get up to the front, and they could both be consistent. I think it could be either one of their races, but I'm still not counting out Redneck. I'm still not counting out Gino. Gino's been fantastic this whole race. He has made very little mistakes, hopefully. I just think he's been so consistent. That's why he's been up there. I mean, these Redneck, Ring, and TK, they've been making mistakes. That's where Gino's been strong so far in this race. I think Gino has just an opportunity to win this race as those three guys do.
Yeah, consistency's half the battle. I mean, running your line, not over braking, keeping the oversteer down. If you can do that, that's half the battle. The rest of it is just, defending if you need to, picking a place to pass if you have someone in front of you. That's been Ring's downfall, is he's been overdriving every corner. He's on the gas too early, catching rumble strips.
Here we go.
But here goes TK up on the inside of Ring.
Gino's going to overshoot the turn. Oh, they all three shoot the turn. Wow, Barlow just gave them that. I just don't understand.
TK up in second.
So they have to make one more stop on this green flag. Oh, and Spartle spins out into the stand. Looks like he got a little bit of help there, though.
I don't think TK is happy with Ring about that bump and run.
And look who we talked about, Mr. Consistency in the lead right now.
Yep.
And Redneck's there. I mean, out of the four cars, I think Redneck's had the most disadvantage so far in this race. I don't think he's been the strongest of the four for sure. He's definitely showed signs of it.
I think he's overcome the most.
For sure. I think he needs to settle down just as much as Ring does, but I think Ring's beating himself. I think Redneck's just making minor mistakes. I think that's really the difference between those two when it comes to beating each other up. I mean, TK is having all sorts of problems right now, and Gino's just like, you guys keep doing your thing. I'm just going to stay up here, mind my own business, and run my race. Riding on the rear view camera of Ring right now, the battle for third between TK and Redneck going on here as they go through the S's. I gotta ask you, Hillbilly, that's the start. You saw the start of the race, of that last restart. Could you believe that Barlow gave those four those positions? I just felt like he had a car that could have just done enough to stay in the front of these guys.
I think he could have made it interesting for a lap or two. But, I mean, like I said, turn one is one of the key points of this track. You overshoot that turn, you're going to let everybody by.
And you watched all four of them go way inside, and Bartle just stayed up high to try to avoid the carnage. Unfortunately for him, he got the worst end of the stick, and then also spun out. You know, I mean, there's we talk about over-aggressive driving, but there's also sometimes you're too under-aggressive. And, you know, being too safe. I mean, you got to show some type of strength during your race. You got to show guys that you're not willing to just move aside from, make them earn it. If you think that's a disadvantage for some drivers.
Yeah, you can be too conservative and too cautious. You know, there's times you know if you know the group of people behind you are faster. I mean, sometimes it might be the good idea to let them go by. You know, stay in their good graces, save face. But you're never going to learn that way. You got to try to stay in front of them and see what you can do, and see where if you mess up, see where you mess up on, and see how they capitalize. That way, you know, that's a lesson you can learn that you can utilize if you ever get the chance.
And you know, I like that you made that point. You're never going to learn that way because, you know, a lot of these people think, you know, I just to avoid the argument with somebody, I'm just going to let them on by. They're faster than me, but you're never gonna get faster unless you try to, one, race them, two, defend against them, and just make smart decisions. You know, not everybody's going to like what you do. You're going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. Heads are going to get heated. It happens, but that's the way. That's the only way you're going to learn. If you're just going to let people move aside, you're never going to go through all of that to make you a better driver. And I think to be a better driver, you need to challenge yourself to do that and go through that. Because I mean, there's the times you hillbilly. I'm sure you've had issues with other drivers on the track. You know, you got into a big incident or a certain bump, or you know, you didn't think that they didn't make the you know, careful decision or the right decision. And you might have had a heated battle, but you move on from that. But that's the way you learn. I mean, it's never going to be easy every time.
Yeah, I mean, you move on from it. You may get heated over it, but in like a case like this, in a league race, these people are all going to race again together next week or whenever the next race is. What they need to do is learn each other, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, and they can go off of that also.
Sure, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's one of those things. You know, you race with a group of guys every week. You start to learn how they drive. It makes for better racing, and I think these guys do have pretty good chemistry around each other. I mean, they aren't. It's not like one guy is way out of line. You know, when I say out of line, like completely different driving style. They all seem to have the same tendencies. A little bit more aggressive on some others, conservative, but for the most part, it seems like they know how each other race. I mean, we've watched these four up front. I would say they at least do have that chemistry to a point.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're beating and banging just like you would in NASCAR. They're being respectful about it. I mean, they're not wrecking each other. If they get someone loose, you know, they're kind of slowing it down, saying, hey, my fault, letting that person keep his position.
Right now, I mean, looks like the guy on the track to beat is TK here. Even he's starting to get ahead of steam now.
He's found his consistency shoes.
And Gino right now, he's just, you know, minding his own business, running consistent race. He might not be putting the fastest laps out, but he's making the least mistakes out of these four guys up front. And Truex fan off to the side of the track. Looks like he's done the remainder of this race. Not sure what happened to him. It looks like he's just hanging up the helmet for this week. So unfortunate to see that. You never want to see a driver, you know, give up, but sometimes things just don't go your way.
I don't know if you noticed, but TK just set the fastest lap of the race by a lot. I think the previous lap was Ring had a 136, I believe, and TK just beat it by 2 seconds, I think.
I'm pretty sure Ring had a 34, though. I might be wrong, but I thought he had a 34 already. I think TK beat it by a couple of tenths, but regardless, the fastest time on the track, that's telling you something right there. I mean, we talked about him getting ahead of steam here with 11 laps to go.
He's gaining on Gino.
Well, Gino's been a really good defensive driver though in this race. When we talk about the guy that has been making mistakes, you know, been conservative, I mean, he's been very good on the defensive end as well. I mean, he's not overly defensive, but he's doing what he needs to do to stay in front, and that's one of the reasons why this pack of four has been together. Now, if you also see it further in the back of these three, Redneck's falling off, Hillbilly, and that's not something we've seen yet in this race. What do you think's going on for Redneck right now? I mean, we saw him catch up to these three earlier, then he was with them. What could be going on for him? Could it be a mental thing? Could he be a little frustrated right now, or could he be overdriving the car maybe?
It might be. I mean, I don't know if these guys are running with sim damage on. He might have some damage. You might want to check on that.
I think it's just fuel tires. I'm not positive. Oops, went too far back. Back with Bartle.
Looks like fuel and tires.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, just fuel and tires. So they're just running fuel tires. He's just overdriving the car, I think. And I think if he could just settle down a little bit, he could battle his way back up. I mean, he's not far away from these three, so it's not like he's out of it yet. Gino gives up the lead to Taken. And oh my gosh, Ring goes to the inside of Gino to the inside of Taken, and Ring takes the lead. Did you catch that one?
See, this is how Redneck's going to catch up right here.
Gino, you know, politely letting on by TK, not really battling too hard. You know, that's what kept Gino in this race. I mean, I think earlier in the race, Gino was a little aggressive, but ever since he's been rather conservative. Oh my gosh, and as I say that, he spun out TK. Looks like TK got a little bit early on the brakes. Gino was full throttling through there and said, see you later. Wow, what a moment. No caution, so we're staying green.
That's the brake Ring needed right there. He's got breathing room.
And TK now has to work extremely hard to get back up there. And oh, TK gets a little loose through the S's as well. Ring doesn't get a good run through the S's. So Gino having to do some work again. So in the rule book for this league, it is a 2-car or more. So that wasn't good enough for a caution, but TK didn't lose a lot of ground, so he's still in good spot. I mean, Redneck didn't get around him. Redneck's right behind him right now, so this is an opportunity for Redneck as well. I mean, not only that, but because those three were battling so hard, Hillbilly, and there goes Ring going way too wide through that section. I mean, he's beating himself up. Just gotta settle down just a little bit.
Yeah, his heart's probably racing right now. He smells the win already. Now he's afraid of losing it.
Well, we said he needs to get out front and have consistent laps. I mean, he gets a little loose off the corner again. And TK is now entering the mix. And if you're just tuning in, this is week number 5 of the BRL NASCAR Cup Series. I'm SSR Mayhem, and alongside me, my partner, SSR Hillbilly, bringing you tonight's live action here at COTA with 9 laps to go in the final stage of the race. TK won stage 1, stage 2 was Gino, and right now leading stage 3, Ring is currently leading. He's been one of the most dominant cars in the field, but hasn't had the consistency that we would have liked to see, but he's starting to get a little bit of a gap, Hillbilly.
Yeah. I mean, there's still 9 laps. Anything can happen. It's still early to get too confident. You still got to keep focus. TK's making up ground on Gino right now. And Redneck hasn't lost any ground on TK, so all it takes is one mistake and this can get interesting again.
So right now, TK, I mean, if TK could get around Gino here, I think he's going to have a great opportunity to go for the lead again. I think, to be honest with you, I think he has the best car in the race right now. I think he's the most consistent car when it comes to speed with consistency. Gino has been phenomenally consistent, but hasn't had the speed as these other few guys have. I mean, you can clearly see he's starting to lose ground on Ring. TK and Redneck are starting to pull on Gino here as TK looks to the outside. Looks like he's trying to stay in the draft with Gino. Gino looks like he's going to throw a block. It looks like TK won't go in for... Oh, he does, to the inside.
Yeah, TK's there.
Can he hold it? He can't.
Gino pitched him off from the inside.
I mean, this is what Ring wants, though. He knows TK has a fast car. He knows, you know, if he can make little mistakes or he can really start to gain on these two. These guys are battling right now. This is what you want to see as a leader, but I'm sure he doesn't want to see TK get in front of Gino here.
Right. Because Ring hasn't got too far away.
Oh, an aggressive move by TK. I wonder if that's a little bit of a nudge back from the earlier incident when Gino got into the corner panel of his car, spinning him out. I mean, he's all over him right now. I mean,
he's letting him know he's there.
That's for sure. And Ring's
Ring
not
needs to
gaining
take advantage
much.
of this and go.
For sure. I mean, he's really not pulling away right now. I'm not sure if he's just doing, you know, overdriving the car still, making little mistakes that are biting him. But TK is getting really aggressive here. How much is too much? How much tire wear do you want to bite off? I mean, that's the real question. I mean, it's getting to the end of this race. He's really battling hard with Gino. And look at this, he gets to the outside. Is this his opportunity to get in front of him? Redneck hasn't gained any
Each lap
ground.
TK, yeah, each lap TK spends behind Gino, he's losing time on Ring, and if he needs to make this stick right here.
Oh, but he doesn't. He gets to the front car of Gino. And TK spins out. Bartle's Skeet isn't even near to pass him, so TK's okay for that, but wow, what a turn of events. What a turn of events, Hillbilly.
Yeah, that was a tough break. If anybody had the car to catch Ring, it was him.
And now Redneck, oh, Gino gets shoved to the outside. Redneck giving him a little bit of bump there. Gino's just trying to defend. I mean, this is the roughest I think Gino's had to be involved in this entire race. He's really been avoiding most of the problems of this race. I mean, I just gotta wonder how TK feels right now. I'm sure he's not a very happy camper. I mean, that's twice that him and Gino mixed up together. As a driver, Hillbilly, you know, if you were in his situation, I'm sure you would be just as frustrated. If not, I mean, maybe not. But if you're TK right now, what are you thinking about?
I don't know how the rule book is, but I hope he's probably praying for a caution.
He's probably going to hope that Redneck and Gino here take each other out, because that's the only opportunity. I believe they still all have one more pit stop left to take. So there's still a pit stop, I think, in the making for each one of these drivers.
So their caution rule is 2 cars have to be involved?
Yes. Redneck's having a hard time getting around Gino right now. I mean, Redneck's trying desperately. I mean, Redneck might have a car too to get to Ring at this point. I mean, Ring isn't getting away from these guys.
No, they're both. But then again, Ring may be settling in, just cruising and let them do the work.
And that might be the case as well. I mean, you make a great point right there. We haven't been riding along with him, so we don't really know how he's been running alone. We're watching the battle right now for second between Redneck and Gino, and I mean, at this point of the race, TK is out of the chance to win at least this race. I mean, we're definitely going to need a caution. And what happened to Redneck? To go. We're going to check out the rest of the field now, go further in the back. Actually, I don't think it matters. But Truex is 7 laps down. Your boy Havens is currently in 6th. 5th place is Bartle Skeet. 4th is TK, who's involved in 2 different instances in this last stage. And Redneck's back up against Gino again, Hillbilly. But he just can't seem to stick the car.
It seems like Redneck can get the run through the S's, but he can't seem to get a good run to the back straights and make a pass down into that left-hander. I think that's going to be his best opportunity to get around Gino.
Well, if he wants to make the move, he's going to need to do that now. They, you know, we talk about conservative driving. If Ring is being conservative right now, he's really letting these two start to close a little bit of that gap. And honestly, I think Redneck has the faster car, like you said, than Gino. If Redneck can get in front of Gino, I wonder if he can get to Ring with 5 laps to go here. I just don't see it. I mean, we haven't seen Redneck do anything here on Gino yet. I mean, he's going to have to do it this lap. I mean, this is the lap he's going to have to get around him. He gets the back bumper of him, gives a little bit of a push. He's got a good run, it looks like, though, coming off the corner. Might see a dive bomb here, possibly. It looks like he's lining up for it. And there he goes.
He needs to go down. Gino closes it off.
Oh, but he clips Gino just a little bit. This is the lap he has to get in front of Gino. I don't think you can go another lap.
See, it seems like Redneck is faster on the first part of the track, and once they get out of the back straight, that seems to be Gino's strength.
And you know, the style of driving between Redneck, you know, if you compare him to Taken took a lot of chances to dive in on the inside on a lot of turns. It doesn't look like Redneck is that aggressive. I think he's a little bit more cautious. I think he's a little bit more, I would say respectable as a good word, but I don't want to single him out saying he's the only one driving respectively, because I mean they're all driving respectively. It just seems like he's the most cautious one when it comes to being aggressive. I mean, we watched Taken and Ring dive so many times on each other, Gino. I mean, I think Redneck's just a little bit more cautious, though.
Well, I think Redneck was, 4th and 5th place in the first 2 stages?
Yeah.
He might be just trying to conserve a podium in this race, because this will be his best points payout of the whole race so far. If he can just stay right there with Gino and let Gino make the mistake, he can maybe take second also.
And for Gino, he's just trying to hang on the second. I mean, he's holding on. And Ring just set a faster time of a 0.3. TK had a 0.4, so Ring finding a little bit of momentum. And you know, we talked about Ring all this race, Hillbilly, and it looks like he's finally settled in. And he's definitely starting to put some good laps down, not gaining a whole lot, but not losing a whole lot. He's not being himself. I think the biggest factor is TK isn't around to really put a challenge. It seemed like TK, like you said earlier, had the best car to come at him. I think with that, he kind of knows he's not there anymore. I wonder if that's also kind of settling in, and now he's kind of settled down and not overdriving the car.
Yeah, all Ring has to do right now is make laps, consistent laps. Let these two battle. That'll keep them back, far enough back for him to just hold on to what he's got.
And that whole lap that I was riding with Ring, I mean, he seems very calm. I mean, he's driving real smooth. He's not locking up the brakes, not overdriving the turns. I think mentally he's in a good stage right now.
I think he is being conservative, though, because his last lap was over a second slower than his fastest lap.
I mean,
his last lap was a 35.6.
Yeah, I would say so. You could kind of tell the way he's taking the turns now. I mean, that's the first time I've seen him throw smoke right there. those two are still kind of gaining on him, but they don't have enough laps to get him. Redneck, as much as he tries to get around Gino, he's ran out of time to do so to get to the ring.
See, here's Redneck right there. That's where he's stronger than Gino. Got right up on his bumper. Gino needs a good run out of this turn. Maybe send it down to this left-hander for a pass.
And there he goes. He gives a little bit of a nudge, but like I said, he's not willing to bump enough. You know, a little bit of a bump pass. I mean, he's very cautious, very careful.
Ring just went a little wide right there.
And Ring also just spun the tires, so 2 laps to go, and he's letting these two in. I mean, you gotta go,
yeah,
man.
They're slowly getting them.
I mean, they might catch him. They might get to him. I mean, this is not what you want to be doing at this ring. I don't know if being conservative is really good right now.
I think if Gino and Redneck would work together, they can get up to him and put the
this is
pressure
Redneck's
on
best
him.
chance.
Gino close it off.
Oh, but Gino gets a little bit into him there. I think Redneck's like one of the most patient people I've seen in this race, though. I mean, as much as he's been behind him, he's not trying to shove him out of the way. He doesn't look like he's getting frustrated.
Yeah, if you look up gentleman driver in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Redneck's car.
I mean, it's literally...
I mean, nothing against him. That's a good trait to have, but I mean, if you get the chance, you got to force the issue somewhere.
I think he's
like
doing
right
it
here.
right here.
See, he backed out of it.
Every time he goes to make a chance, Gino closes the door. He's got to keep his nose there. I mean, if he wrecks, he wrecks, but you got to give yourself the opportunity to at least make the pass. And a lap down car showing up.
He's got to hold his ground in one of these turns and keep his nose in there.
I mean, Gino and Redneck are now up.
Oh, did you see the new fastest lap?
I did not.
TK's got it by half a second at 33.9.
And TK's so far back.
I know.
1 to go, white flag in the air. And I have to point this out. Ring hat is orange on the tire wear right now at 61%. I don't know if that's really affecting him a whole lot, but it could be a factor right now. Can he hold on to the car? That's the question. I wonder if Haven's going to let these guys on by here if they can get to him.
I don't know if he doesn't. It's going to make it interesting because Gino, he can smell the win right now. It's going to come down to the last turn if that lap car doesn't get out of the way.
And Redneck is right there with him still. Gino's got to be consistent here through this back section to give him a chance to get to Ring. There's another lap car ahead. It's Truex. And Ring goes to the inside of Havens. Havens gets a little loose.
Get in there, Redneck. Hold your ground.
Redneck. Oh, but they pushed out wide. And it looks like he got him. He did. Oh, but they're still side by side. And Gino shoves him wide. They're just baiting and banging. Redneck to the inside.
Oh,
Gino.
Oh, man.
Popping over. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Gino sticks his nose and shoves him wide. But your winner in stage number 3 in the race here at COTA for week number 5 in the BRL Esports NASCAR Series will be Ring. Right behind him, Gino, Redneck, finishing 2nd and 3rd. Coming in 4th place, Hard Charger, but got stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. TK will take 4th. 5th place will be Bartle Skeet, it looks like. He's all alone, and Bartle, what a rough race for him. I thought he would have a little bit better of a run there, but it just seems like the track was a little bit tough for him. So we're gonna bring the top three drivers in to get a couple of post-race interviews for everyone that's watching, get kind of questions, and then we'll take off here for the night. But Hillbilly, going through that race there at the end, it was definitely wild to watch, especially for the first two stages of the race. What do we take from that as we try to get the drivers on in here?
It was the first two stages were hectic. I think the last stage they all settled down and ran the race, were a little bit more conservative. But the last half of the last lap, I thought it was going to get real interesting there, especially between Gino and Ring if that lap car hadn't moved out of the way.
And we're trying to bring these top three drivers in to have a post-race interview. So 1 minute as we try to pull in the drivers. But it was a very exciting race, so I think that was a lot of fun to watch for sure. There's the final standings. Ring is your winner. Gino takes second. Third will be Redneck. Fourth will be TK. Fifth will be Bartle. Sixth will be Havens. Seventh will be Truex. Eighth, disappointing. We really thought this guy had a shot. RLS Jr. Excuse me. And then rounding up the top nine would be Demon. So it's definitely been an interesting race. For sure, and we're just getting the guys in here to have an interview with them. For you guys that just joined in, please select the party audio in the party chat on so the people that are watching can hear. But we're going to do some post-race interviews, and then once we finish this all up, we'll be signing out to you guys. And we're going to start with third place finisher Redneck, and how we're going to do this, gentlemen, is I'm going to ask a question, and Hillbillies can ask a question if he has any questions. We always start from the third place, but the bottom driver up to the winner. So finishing third in this race, Redneck. And Redneck, I have to ask: is the ending to your name Soldier?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Redneck, this race was really interesting. You definitely had your ups and downs throughout the race. Early in the race, you kind of had to catch up to the pack. You got to the front, battled with those guys for a while. The second stage was up there with those guys, battled for a while. And then the last stage, you kind of fell off. And then you had to try to battle your way back up there. Unfortunately, TK there during mid stage got into a couple accidents with Gino, but it kind of gave you the opportunity to catch up to Gino to battle for the second place spot. You guys really duked it out there at the end. You almost had it, but third place couldn't be too bad for you. And just take us through your race and your thoughts as the race progressed.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the best races I've had in a while. We struggled pretty early on. The car was a little loose. It is unfortunate what happened to TK there on that one turn. It definitely gave me the opportunity to catch back up to second place. It was a really good dogfight there through the last couple laps. I just messed up there on the final turn, and he got under me and just kind of pushed me through the turn a little bit. Just did hard racing.
Hopefully, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, I was just at probably the last half of that third stage. I was watching you, Redneck, and we were talking about gentleman drivers, and it seemed like anytime you got a nose in on Gino, you back out of it, try not to force the issue. I was just wondering if maybe you learned to be a little bit more aggressive, because there's a couple times I thought you could have got in there and made the pass. But,
yeah. I was just trying not to race him too hard there early on. There were plenty of opportunities I could have took to possibly get inside of him and get around him. Just playing it a little too safe. This is my first time on this track, so most of the race was just trying to learn it for me, trying not to be too aggressive. But
oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then. But it was fun to watch. That was a fun battle. Those last 5 or 6 laps between you and Gino. That was really fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, it was.
Well, congratulations on a third place finish, and definitely looking forward to seeing you as the season progresses. So congratulations on a top 3 finish tonight, Redneck.
Thank you, sir.
and Gino. And once again, just to make sure both of you guys check your party chat off for your audio. But Gino, congratulations on a second place finish. You took stage two. You were one of the most consistent drivers in the race for sure. You stayed out of trouble most of the time. You just ran your own race. You might have not had the speed of some of the other guys tonight, but you made it stick. You made it count. You got a stage win. You had an opportunity at the end. We thought, well, maybe the lap down car might slow up Ring there, and Ring's had a lot of mistakes throughout the race. Just take us through your process there at the end of the race and the incidents with TK.
You see, through that corner, I tried to be on TK's rear to try to follow him through the S's, but he got loose on the curb, and I do apologize for that. I tried to get on the side. He just slid, touched my nose, and he was round, and yeah, I kept on going. I apologized to him, and yeah, very sorry about that. And with the battle between the Redneck and I, it was a very intense battle between us, and I tried to keep it clean as possible, but Redneck was getting very desperate, bumping race, and I didn't really mind. It was the best race I had in a while, especially in NASCARs. And he's a good driver, quick, very quick. And I thought I would lose my position a second with that back marker on the inside curb. But yeah, I got around him. In the final corner, he got ahead. I got stuck on his nose. I was planning on either just making a cut back, but he turned in a bit. He got stuck on my nose. He got round just about almost 90 degrees. And yeah, just took second home.
Good, Hillbilly.
Yeah, I was watching that battle. You're putting on a defensive clinic, just defending every corner, and it was really fun to watch. And I honestly think if you hadn't had to defend as much as you did, you probably could have reeled in first place a little bit more. Did you think the same thing, or?
Yeah, great. The 3 car was slowing down a whole bunch. I thought I could catch him, but I just kept watching my rearview mirrors, watching Redneck, because he was still right on me. No matter how much of a gap I got, he would catch me through the S's, all those short corners. But definitely, yeah, I thought I could catch the 3 car, but I had to go on the defensive side because if I worked on the 3 car, I would just be slow. So I might as well just took second home and watched behind me.
You make a great point there. I mean, taking your shots when you had to take them, but that second stage win had to feel good, especially the way the race went. I mean, you 4 up front for the first 2 stages. I mean, you guys couldn't break apart. What was your thoughts through all that? Because I mean, you guys were beating and banging. You were trying to stay out of it for most part, but you were right there in the mix most of the time. What was your process through most of that in the first 2 stages?
First 2 stages were, a bit chaotic. First corner. The plan was to just work my way through, but worked very well through the stages. I tried to keep it clean. I got through first, second stage, went up to first. Try to keep it clean. I didn't want to battle anyone for the first stage and second. Try to just get on the lead, save fuel to get back to the pits, and yeah, try to get a good position on the final stage.
Well, congratulations on a top 3 finish, second place. Not so bad, especially the way the race went, and a stage win, so congratulations tonight. Finishing second here at Coda.
Yep, thank you, sir.
And the winner, and this is, I believe, the 5th different winner in 5 weeks. Obviously, this is our first week with these guys, but congratulations, Ring, on your win here. And, we talked about it all race. Hillbilly and I went back and forth on it. We thought you had the car to beat most of the race, especially early on. You definitely showed the pace. Definitely seemed like what really cost you a lot of the race was it seemed like you were beating yourself out there, just making minor mistakes, overdriving the car. You never really developed, and when you did get in front, you lost it within the lap because you were trying to overdrive. But when you finally got out front there at the end, it seemed like you kind of settled down a bit, and you were able to, seal the deal. Just take us through all that.
Man, I'm just more ecstatic about getting my first win, man. I've been chasing that for 2 weeks now. I finished second at Sonoma, finished third at Monza, finished second last week. To finally break through and get my first win is honestly awesome. But I'll tell you about the race, dude. I was beating myself up, like you said. Like, I'd push, I'd get there, but then I'd think I'd be, in my mind, I'm like, I can take it a little bit quicker if I take it a little bit quicker, if I take it a little bit quicker. Well, each time I thought that, I would push it too hard, I wasn't pushing enough. So when I got out that last time, I really don't know how to explain it. I just kind of stopped thinking about it as much and just kind of did my own thing near the end. I kind of got into my own rhythm, felt comfortable, knocked out laps. I think at some point I pulled some type of 300 gap, but I just didn't pay attention to any of that. I just started running my own race and it worked out, and I'm so happy about it.
So, judging off of qualifying, we saw the times, and we both said, it was your race to lose, and the main racing was going to be second to probably fifth was going to be where the hard racing was. But it seemed like on that first lap, you overshot that one turn and went off into the runoff area, and it seemed like that triggered everything. As far as the first two stages go, it seemed like you were driving frustrated, and you couldn't snap out of it.
I tried to keep my nerves as best I could under control, but when I went into the first turn and overshot it, I immediately started double guessing my braking zones that I developed, my lines, the way I'd take the corners. So that's why the first two stages weren't great, and I constantly kept battling from I'd drop, I'd gain, I'd drop, I'd gain. But once again, it's just like at the end I started getting more comfortable with remembering where I would brake, how I would take the corners, where I could gain a little bit more time. And that way I just settled into my groove, and the nerves that I got at the beginning just kind of dissipated near the end.
Now, go ahead, Oakley. I think you have more to ask.
No, I was going to ask, were you worried about the lap car halfway through the last lap, thinking maybe that would slow you up and give Gino a chance to take a shot at you?
I was going to say, Gino's my teammate, so if he took a shot at me, he'd take one good shot, and we practiced a bit together, and we know how we would race one another, so if he got to me, anything would have gone. So, but when I got to the lap car, man, I was just thinking, well, this might be it. He's going to get close, and something's going to happen, but I just caught the lap car in the right spot, and from there I just was able to get around him nice, clean, easy. I just kind of felt bad for Gino and Redneck in the back, because, I mean, hell, if they didn't have that lap car, who knows what the finish would have been like coming to it.
Well, and talking about that, Kobu and I were talking a lot of this race. It seemed like the one guy, if anybody would have to track you down in this race, it was TK. And we felt like TK had one of the strongest cars in this race for sure, especially near the end of the race. I mean, until the incident between him and Gino, I think he was probably the car to beat. And it seemed like after he kind of fell off there, you kind of relaxed even more. Did that seem to be the case? Was that kind of like at the point where, oh, he's gone, he's not going to really be able to get to me now, I kind of settled down a little bit more, or was he not really in the back of your mind at all?
Oh, he was always on my mind. From the very start of the race, he had my number, no doubt about it. It's just once I was able to get around him at the end, that's why I was just like, I got to keep pushing to stay on my lines. But earlier in the race, I clipped that curb wrong. I got sideways and he passed me there. When he was battling Gino, he clipped the same part on the curb. It just bit him even worse, and that really sucks. Because I bet if he was able to hold that, he probably would have been able to run me down and got to the finish right there with me. It was just really unfortunate for him.
Any other questions, Billy?
No, I think we're good to go.
Well, congratulations, Ring, on your first win in the series, and look forward to seeing many more in the near future. So congratulations to you on your win here today. Hillbilly, what a race it was for us to be a part of, not only, for week 5, but our first time being up here in the booth for a new organization that's starting their own stuff here in their NASCAR series. And it was really fun to watch. You and I had a great battle for the top 4 most of the race. What was the biggest highlight for you in this race, Hillbilly?
I think it was probably the first 2 stages because I mean they were given no quarter. They were beating and banging, but they were still being respectful about it. And it was just really good racing to watch the top 4 guys for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean you're talking about 4 guys that were just putting everything on the line. They didn't care what part of the race they were in. They were just beating and banging. But for me, it was that moment where Gino and TK where TK was completely out of the race. I think that was very pivotal because that moment right there really defined how the rest of that race was going to go, not only for Ring but for Redneck and Gino. And to me, that was one of the biggest highlights for me in this race because I think TK could have really gave Ring a challenge there at the end. But regardless, racing's racing, and you got to take the lows with the highs. But definitely, like you said, those first 2 stages were definitely big highlights, and I think that's also one of them as well.
Oh yeah.
So, but if that's all for here, we want to say thank you for everybody that's watching with us today. We saw quite a few people pop in and out of the chat. I've seen at least a dozen people throughout this whole race show up, so we do appreciate everybody that has shown up to see these guys here tonight, show support to a new organization, and you never know, message these guys, let them know you want to get involved maybe in the near future. Check out whatever new series they got coming up here at BRL Esports. I'm SSR Mayhem, and alongside me, my partner, SSR Hillbilly. We wish you all the best of luck for the rest of your night, and we'll see you next week for week number 6 here at BRL Esports Series. Thank you all, and have a phenomenal night.